What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the fragrances I wore this past week. Slowly, it feels like this channel's falling apart. Not making as many videos as consistently, but I promise I will get back to it once I get back home. I will be flying back home this week, finally. But these are the fragrances I wore this past week. Starting off with Sunday, pulled out Amouage's Diamant. So, Diamant does kind of smell similar to Dior Spice Blend, if you have smelled that one. Both are kind of DNAs that you will go nose blind to really quickly, but I promise you it's still there. I know a lot of people have said that there's bad performance with this fragrance, but honestly, I don't think it doesn't. I think it actually performs really well. It's one of those that you will go nose blind to, like I said. But let's say you spray it on clothes, you're going to smell it next day, no problem. Or even if you're going to go do laundry, you're going to smell it, no problem. For me, I wore this fragrance on Sunday, then I went and did laundry. Smelled it while I was going to do the laundry. And then when I was folding my laundry, it was still on my clothes. So definitely a really good performer. Even though a lot of people say it doesn't perform, it's probably just going nose blind. It does remind me something like Spice Blend, with maybe some kind of like tinted vintage touch to it. Something similar to like maybe it's like I forgot what kind of florals make that accord, but something similar to like Creed's 1849, but not as like old school smelling. But it does have like a little bit of that in the opening, but it does go away and it smells more like Dior Spice Blend. Then on Monday, pulled out Manhattan from Roja. This is a fragrance I really enjoy wearing. I enjoyed wearing that day as well. This is definitely, as of right now, my favorite Roja. And I honestly didn't expect it to be. I got it for a really good price. I got it from the Perfume Spot, and I believe I got it for maybe 160 at the time. But I thought it was a steal for this price, for this fragrance, and I've seen it a few times around that price from either the Perfume Spot, Olfactory Factory, and sometimes Aroma Trail. I've seen that this fragrance is in like the mid-$100 point. And for that price, is really worth it. And it's honestly, to me, worth over 200, maybe even close to 300. So definitely happy that I could get this for a really good price in my collection. And as you guys know, I'm not really the biggest Roja lover, but this one, as much as I wanted to hate it, it's actually a really good fragrance. Then we have Le Labo's Another 13. I'm not too sure what I was doing that day. I don't think I did much, but wore this one. No compliments, and yeah, no compliments at all. I actually don't really remember too much of this wearing. What was I doing on Tuesday? Yeah, I really don't remember what I did on Tuesday. I don't think I was at work, but I know I pulled this fragrance out because I keep them organized on the days I wore them. But yeah, I guess Tuesday. Let's see. I pretty much go into into New York City and kind of walk around all the time. I might have just have gone to dinner. I feel like that's probably what happened. In fact, I think, now that I'm coming back to it, I think I was just doing homework all day, and then went out to dinner with some coworkers. And this is actually what I wore. And I went kind of casual. I was kind of just hoodie and like track pants, so nothing too formal. And that's what I wore. Decided to go something simple, especially because it was going to be a fragrance that I didn't really care about smelling like anything for maybe an hour. And this is a fragrance I go nose blind to. Compliment getter. And I was like, easy to wear. I'll go ahead and put this one on. That's where I wore on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, going back to work, and this is a performer for sure. That's going to be my favorite release of the year so far for a designer fragrance. It's going to be Tom Ford's Bois Pacifique. Sometimes I smell it and I'm like, I'm probably going to get bored of this fragrance soon. Then I give it a wearing, and I enjoy my wearings with this fragrance. No compliments at work. Still a really good fragrance though. I don't really care about the compliments. I just know you guys kind of like to hear if I got a compliment on a fragrance or not. Plus, I have this competition going on right now for the fragrances. But yeah, Tom Ford, Bois Pacifique, out of the DNA of this kind of style. So like Homage Reasons, Bon Fumé. This is my favorite version of that DNA. And it's probably the most affordable too. So if you have this fragrance, I would say you probably have the best of the DNA, but definitely still sample some of the other ones just in case you love it a little bit more. Then on, actually I think I got a cologne, I got a compliment with this fragrance. It was from a coworker. It was Thursday. This is Thursday. So Thursday, wore this to work and then wore this to dinner afterwards. And then when we went out to dinner, that coworker was like, "You smell good." And he knows I have a lot of Creed, so he was like, "Is that a Creed?" I said yes. Then he was like, "Let me get some of that." And I told him I'm sorry. I've let him use all the fragrances that's coming up next, but I told him I can't let you borrow this one. I'm running low on my fragrance. I need to buy another bottle, so I'm gatekeeping this one. I'm not letting you wear it. So yeah, it's coming to the point that it's getting sad, guys. It's getting sad. I'm down to maybe 20 mLs, and I love wearing this stuff. So soon I'm gonna get definitely gonna be a 300 ml bottle of this. And it's gonna be my second Aventus cologne bottle. I'm not too worried about the formulation. I've smelled the new formulation. To me, it's completely fine. It smells actually a little bit stronger. So I'm not worried about getting an old batch or anything like that. Whatever batch I get, I'm happy with. So Aventus cologne, and I did get a compliment. So I think this would be tied with Guerlain's Peach Mirage for the compliments. But I think the Peach Mirage compliment held more weight because it was a stranger in the subway compared to this one that's a coworker, and we're going out to dinner, and he knows my fragrance. Like, he knows I'm into fragrances, and he knows I have a channel. He knows I'm into Creed fragrances specifically, and I let him use a few of my fragrances as well. So this one, I'll give it a point, but the Peach Mirage does still hold more value. Then this is the fragrance I've been letting him borrow, and I've had anxiety letting him borrow it just because, of course, it's my favorite fragrance. He had it for about 3 days, and I was like, I need it back. That's another one. I'm not running too low on it, but I'm running kind of low, and I've owned a few bottles of this already. I think 3 or 4. So I really don't want to purchase another bottle. So someone else wasting my juice, I kind of, like, he had a few things that he wanted to go on, a few dates, so I hooked them up, right? But at the same time, well, I guess you could also say that this got a compliment, because out of all the fragrances I brought with me, this was his favorite one. And every time he smells it, he says it smells really good. So I guess you could also say this has gotten a compliment. But same coworker here. So again, a little bit of a grain of salt. The Peach Mirage one still holds a little bit more weight. But yeah. He didn't do too bad though. He made like a slight dent, maybe like 2 mLs that he used, which I'm happy for. I've seen him spray. He sprays like 3 times, and that's it. So I'm glad he's not overspraying with my fragrance. He knows it's expensive. I'm glad he didn't take advantage of it. But it got to the point that I was like, I need it back. I don't know how much he's using at the time. And I'm like, this is my favorite fragrance, and I want to wear it, but I can't wear it because it's not in my room. So I did take it back from him. And then scent of the day on Saturday, Centaurus. No compliments. What did I do on Saturday? Saturday, I think I just went to like the store. And then I went to go with the same coworker to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we watched the World Series game. I think it was game one, where the Blue Jays absolutely destroyed the Dodgers. I don't know exactly who I'm going for. I really don't care. If I'm being honest, I'm a Red Sox fan, but I did go to a Yankees game, and it was a lot of fun. And it was actually the Red Sox versus Yankees game in the World Series that they eliminated the Red Sox. But sometimes I felt myself rooting for the Yankees. And I know that should be illegal. I know it should be. But at the same time, I don't care. I enjoy both teams. I feel like being in New York City and going to a Yankees game, it's a whole bunch of fun. But I definitely have to go to Boston and go to a Red Sox game in Boston. I feel like that would also be really fun. I want to go to see the Green Monster at some point. But yeah, anyways, watch the World Series wearing this fragrance. Had a late night that night just because we went from that to watching the Kings versus whatever NBA game that was that day. I think Kings. I don't remember who the Kings were facing that day, but it just happened to be the game I was still on after the World Series. So that's the game we watched. This is the fragrance I wore that day. And for that coworker that came along with me, I gave him a few sprays of Manhattan. So I told him to wear something else because I'm running low on my Viking. He can't touch my Aventus cologne. So I gave him a few sprays of Manhattan. But yeah, and that day I wore Centaurus. So we were both pretty much smelling pretty good at dinner, watching the games. But that is all I wore this week. Let me know what you guys wore this past week. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. I will also be trying to post more consistently. It's just been really busy. Balancing work, school, YouTube. It gets a little much sometimes, especially if I'm going out with coworkers after work. I get back here to do homework and kind of doesn't leave me any time for YouTube. But when I get back to my normal schedule, when I get back to Buffalo next week or this week, we should be good with posting. Excited to get back into the second bedroom as well. No more visitors as of right now, so definitely have that room back that I only had for like a week after we redid it. But it's gonna be really fun. Yeah, looking forward to making some more videos and talking about my other fragrances and all the fragrances that I have that are waiting for me. As well, yeah, as the rest of my fragrances. I love all the fragrances I brought, but I'm looking forward to being able to have all my fragrances again and being able to wear more. At the same time, I'm starting to get the itch, like right now, of going back home and just purging a bunch of my fragrances, the ones that I didn't really think about while I was away. So who knows? It might be another selling my collection video because, again, there's some fragrances in my collection I really haven't thought about too much, and I have to make some space for everything that I just ordered that's coming in. I have a limited amount of shelf space. So a lot of those Dunhill fragrances from the signature line I've been looking forward to wearing as well. I haven't even worn any. And there's maybe a few or maybe a couple that I've worn once. So I'm looking forward to getting back home and trying those out, as well as trying out everything I have coming in. So that's all I have for you guys. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good one, guys.